Good morning. Welcome to Heritage Universalist Unitarian Church. Whether you're here in the sanctuary with us or attending today by Zoom, or perhaps watching a replay of this service sometime after today. I am Bob Lamb, a member of Heritage, and I am your worship associate today. Heritage is a Unitarian Universalist congregation in the Universalist tradition. We have no dogma or creed you are required to follow. We are welcoming. We are here to provide love to all who enter. If you are new to Heritage, a special welcome to you. We would love it if you signed our guest book and got a name tag from the stand in the entryway. If you would like to know more about the church, or maybe take a tour, ask anybody. But we do have a designated member of the board for that. Today's board greeter is Gary Wilson, and he's in the back by the doors right now. And you can find him at that same location out in the entryway after the service. If you're visiting online, please go to our website. Yeah. Please go to our website, huuc.net, where you'll find lots of information about the church. Our senior minister, Bill Gupton, is on vacation. Leading our service today is Finn Palmer, who wears his status as youngest official member of our congregation proudly. Everyone should have received an order of service. On the second page, you will find announcements about things going on in the church community. The most important announcement is that it's Potluck Day. Please join us in the Great Hall after the service for food and companionship. Don't worry if you didn't bring anything. We do the fishes and loaves thing pretty well. And if you don't understand the reference, please see me after the service. A couple of others I would like to highlight. Today, after you've got some food after the service, join the Welcome Plus brainstorming session in the youth room at 12:30. We'll be looking for ideas to welcome newcomers beyond that first hello. Contact kinskeep at gmail.com if you can't make it but would like to be involved. That's k.inskeep@gmail.com. Second, a new announcement. There are a few more slots left for auction items. There's a swim party that's not full yet, a fashion seminar, karaoke night with our newly minted music director, Sherry McCamley, and a few more. Those will be on the table in the Great Hall after the service for sign-ups. And now let us prepare our hearts and mind for worship.
Our call to worship today is The Guest House by Jalaluddin Rumi, and it was translated by Coleman Barks. This being human is a guest house. Every morning, a new arrival, a joy, a depression, a meanness, some momentary awareness comes as an unexpected visitor. Welcome and entertain them all, even if they're a crowd of sorrows who violently sweep your house empty of its furniture. Still treat each guest honorably. He may be clearing you out for some new delight. The dark thought, the shame, the malice, meet them at the door laughing and invite them in. Be grateful for whoever comes, because each has been sent as a guide from beyond.
Thank you, Juliet. Now please rise as you're able and willing for our opening hymn. Number 1 in your hymnal, May Nothing Evil Cross This Door, and remain standing for our covenant. The words will be on the screen. By this covenant, we affirm that love is the spirit of this church, the quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge in freedom, to serve humankind in fellowship, to the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with God.
Good morning, all. My name is Lacey Lee Adams. I'm the Director of Lifespan Faith Development here at Heritage, and I am here to bring you a time for all ages. Who has ever been to the beach? Woo! Yeah. My tiny human is a beach baby, loves the beach, and loves to collect shells from the beach. But we caution Ben when at the beach that some shells should stay at the beach, the ones that are whole and the ones that other creatures can live in. What beach creatures live in shells? Crabs, hermit crabs, which is also a myth, incidentally. I've been watching lots of videos and reading about hermit crabs, and hermit crabs are not hermits. They're actually highly social crab humans, beings, animals, crab things. They like to be in crabby community. Can you imagine that? So, I thought today, thinking about a hermit crab and communities of crabs, crab communities, is a great way for us to think about what it means to be a community that helps to produce security for our community. So, a video to share with you about hermit crabs and their crabby housing.
Hermit crabs use abandoned seashells as mobile homes. As a crab grows, its shell becomes an ever tighter fit. So eventually a crab needs to move in to a bigger one. Suitable empty shells are few and far between. And this one is far too spacious for this crab. But instead of continuing its search, this small crab settles down to wait. Other crabs, also looking to upgrade to a bigger home, soon gather whenever a shell washes ashore. Unfortunately, the new shell is too big for them too. Despite that, the gathering crabs begin to measure each other up, and then they do something really rather extraordinary. They arrange themselves into an orderly queue. The biggest at the front, smallest at the back. They're lining up with one aim: to exchange properties. But none of the crabs can make a move because the chain is not yet complete. They're all waiting for the right-sized crab to come along. And this is it. The latest arrival pushes to the head of the queue. At first, the chain falls apart. As it reforms, the small crab finally makes its move and takes its place at the end of the line. After a close inspection, the big crab moves in. This triggers a chain reaction. Each crab hurriedly moves into the shell vacated by the crab ahead of it in the line. Just as the small crab attempts to move into its new home, a fresh arrival muscles in. To be left without a shell is a death sentence. A naked crab will quickly cook under the intense tropical sun. But after all the swapping, there is still one shell left. Sadly, it's no bigger than this small crab's original shell. And worse, it's got a hole in it. But even a bad shell is better than being homeless.
Right? Many thanks to our animal kingdom for teaching us something about being in community. So, my title is interesting. I am the first director of Lifespan Faith Development here at Heritage. It was a new decision that we made when hiring for my position. And I think that this crab queue perfectly tells us about why a lifespan faith development professional is exactly what a community of crabs might need. Because until we're all in order and developing and caring for each other, the spiritual development of any one of us is not quite complete. And the work of being in spiritual community is work across all ages, stages, or maybe shell sizes. Those are things we do together. And as we grow, as we move into new shells, that makes some space for others to follow in our footsteps into bigger, more spacious surroundings. Whether or not those surroundings are shells that we live in or faith that we live and love in. So together, we do the great work of being communities of crabs. And you know, mostly it works beautifully. And sometimes things go wrong, like that tiny crab at the bottom of the lineup. So not every time we are in community is it perfectly harmonious and simplistic. There are times where someone takes our house, and there are times where we get left with a somewhat subpar shell that we have to live in. But guess what? there will be other crabby lineups to join. There will be other parts of the community that are growing and can help us grow. And it is when we respect each of our own size and space and growth, when we take care of each other in this way, that the line works most amazingly. So as we go into the rest of our summer together, or separately as we go out into the world, when you are at the beach, when you are seeing crabs, when you are encountering the natural world, I want you to be inspired by crab community. I want you to think about, as you are in the world and come back to this space, what is it that our natural world is teaching you about how we are in spiritual community? And what does the natural world teach us each about how we might help not only just make sure that we are safe and in community, but that the folks around us, the other crabs in the lineup, how they are taken care of? Because our natural world has so much to teach us if we are simply open to the learning of it. So be inspired by crabs and seek out to learn from crabs if you happen to be at the beach this summer. Now, for our young people, if you are going to come out for worship, if you are going to come out for RU, we have an exciting observation-based game playing time together. We are going to leave through the back doors and we're going to actually go outside. So as the rest of the church sings, we're going to sing the children's recessional. We are going to go out the doors, the glass doors, hang a right, and find our way into the outside together.
I got preoccupied over there. Today's collection is for the UC Rwanda initiative. Just by a show of hands, how many folks here have either themselves or someone they know has been seen or evaluated or treated by a cardiologist or a heart doctor? Just raise your hands if you or someone you know has been. Yeah, so lots of people, right? So as some of you may know, that cardiac disease is the #1 cause of mortality in the US. Just think if you had, or the person you know was not able to see a cardiologist, how that would have turned out for them if they weren't able to get to one, if they weren't able to travel far enough. So Rwanda is a country in Africa that I'm sure most people here know. They went through a terrible genocide about 30 years ago, and it cut their population down considerably. So the average the average age now is in the 30s or 40s. And the size of Rwanda is about the size of West Virginia, but it has 5 times the population. So there's an enormous need for cardiologists to be in Rwanda, to serve the people of Rwanda who have challenges that we don't always encounter here, such as rheumatic heart disease, which is much more uncommon here than it is over there, because we can treat strep throat. So the UC Rwanda initiative was founded a number of years ago by Dr. Hanan Kerr through UC. And it's an initiative that provides cardiologists to go over to do virtual lectures and train the new cardiologists of Rwanda to take over. There's about 4 to 5 of them right now that are actively practicing for that entire country. And the plan is to be able to have a fellowship, which is already active now. They're starting their 2nd year to train the newest cardiologists who can actually support the enormous need in Rwanda. So if anyone that you know, as I said before, if you or someone you know has ever been treated by a cardiologist, please, as much as you can, best of your ability, donate to help the Rwanda initiative through UC, so we can train the cardiologists to help out those folks. Thank you.
failed to say in my announcements, our guest musician today is Andy Wells, and he's actually did double duty as a musician and telling us about the Rwanda Initiative. So, thank you.
The other day, I found a tweet online, not on Twitter, I don't use the platform, from a guy sharing a drawing of his son that he had made for the word safe. The drawing depicts a small boy laying in bed between his parents. It's cute, right? But the cuteness and wholesomeness aside, the drawing can tell us far more about ourselves and our own definitions of what it means to be safe by looking at the meaning of safe and how it can mean to us as people and how it should mean to us as Universalist Unitarians. The first interpretation of the drawing that I'd like to highlight is how well it shows my idea of spiritual safety. The boy is not physically safe from all threats, not physically safe from anyone and everything, yet he feels so completely and totally safe. A security and safety that transcends the ability to surround oneself with cold stone walls, iron gates, weapons, and shields. A security that, when unable to be achieved, can drive even kings mad and world leaders to insanity, and everyday people like us to become paranoid of the world around us. A security, when not fostered, that can lead to deficits in our ability to empathize and love others. A security of the soul, a spiritual security. Just as Universalist Unitarians like us believe that all spiritual journeys are different and all paths to the divine will inherently be different, as we are all different in many ways, one's spiritual security, by nature, will and should be different from others. My idea of spiritual security involves a happy place mentality, where I can either, through conscious soul searching or literally finding a place in this world, find myself letting go of all the spiritual hurts and threats that seem to exist in our lives. Worries of tomorrow, regrets of the past, words that hurt now, words that hurt long after they've been said. All the things that run through our brains that cause us pain, grief, sadness. My own recognition that one day I will die is one of the most difficult things that crosses my mind on any given day. I can be safe from that when I lay down in bed next to the person I love. Just as I drift off to sleep, to dream sweet nothings into the ether, I am truly safe from everything that follows me, just like my own shadow, every day. That is spiritual security.
Where she belongs.
I love that scene. If you want to see the darker, much darker version of it, check out the 1939 black and white movie with Charles Laughton playing Quasimodo. Sanctuary. It comes from the Latin sanctus, which means holy. It has come today to mean a place of refuge and protection. We have bird sanctuaries, wildlife sanctuaries, sanctuary cities, and we are sitting in a place called a sanctuary, because the first use of the word was for the holiest part of a place of worship and the safety that could be found there. Quasimodo took Esmeralda to the cathedral because in that time, fugitives could find at least temporary safety there from the authorities. Many churches today have declared themselves sanctuaries for undocumented immigrants. Now, sanctuary means a place of safety. I head the security team here at Heritage. Our job is to do what we can to increase the physical security of this building and the people in it. And by the way, we're always looking for new volunteers to help us, so see me after the service. For many people, it is hard to be secure spiritually if you feel physically unsafe. We want to balance the two so that Heritage can be a sanctuary in every sense. One way we add to our spiritual security is by loving and embracing our friends through the high and low points in their lives with our Candles of Community ceremony. In Candles of Community, you come forward, take the microphone from Finn, line up along the sides and come forward, take the microphone from Finn, give us your name and tell us briefly what your joy or concern is, and Finn will light a candle for it, and we will hold it in our hearts. If you're online, you can type your joy or concern in the chat, and I will read them after the ones in the sanctuary are done. First, I will read 3 candles we received by email. Now we light one final candle for the joys and concerns that we are unexpressed, that we hold in our hearts.
This section is titled Spiritual Security and You, and then another you in parentheses. Just like the name of this service, my goal in doing this worship Sunday was to take my own idea of spiritual security and maybe help others understand some ways to identify where you can feel spiritually secure and how you can use that to better yourself and also lift others up in turn. To start, this is going to involve a bit of work on your end to help identify some places, situations, and times where you might feel stressed, distressed, or otherwise affected by a situation that might be occurring. Go ahead and shout out some times that you all might feel spiritually insecure. Online, put some things in chat. Trying a new thing. Wonderful. Traveling. That's good as well.
In a faith community that doesn't agree with mine.
Oh, that's a good one. Anything else? Those are some really good examples of spiritual insecurity. Now, when that happens, nobody likes to feel the embarrassment of maybe making a big mistake at work in front of your boss, or feeling quite put out after eating alone at a table for 2, or any other situation that might plague us now, or have plagued us in the past, or lie in wait for us in the future. We need to brainstorm ways for us to reach a place of spiritual security, a place where we can deal with those hurts, feel them, cherish them for the lessons they teach us, and then let them go. A metaphorical gladiator pit for our greatest monsters. Go ahead now and take a minute or 2 in silence to brainstorm some places for you, either in your heart or mind, or actual places that exist in your life. When I sound the chime, start talking amongst yourselves. Share some of these places that we've been blessed with, where we can go to fight our heart hurts.
Turn to your neighbor and let's talk about what your safe places are and where you move.
Yes. So there were some things that were said in chat that I feel should be read out. When we were chatting about things that might make us feel spiritually insecure, Jonathan A. had said that hard decisions or struggles are something that can make us feel spiritually insecure, and I most definitely agree. Louise Loire also said that when she feels spiritually insecure, she can go to the company of deep friends with whom she is totally open and safe with, a community of spiritual security. I hope your conversations were meaningful and enlightening, and I hope that we learned a little bit about each other's differences when it comes to spiritual security and appreciated diversity of thought in this matter. I also hope that you found some similarities, possibly. For the final part of service today, I'd like to share a somewhat universal experience, hopefully, that all of us may have gone through when we were kids. That is a set of stairs. Most of us will recognize it. Most of us use it every single day. Bottom goal. Darkness never concealed more than a few critters crawling in the dark. We all have these monsters, real or not, concealed in darkness, chasing us down, hunting us for their next meal. And when those monsters seem oh so close to catching you, find your set of stairs. Find the light at the top, and find the sanctuary of the heart, and try to make it out, even if relatively unscathed. And now let us rise, as you are willing and able, to sing our closing hymn, Blue Boat Home, followed by our benediction. for the benediction.
And what a wonderfully full sanctuary.
May the Spirit of life